In terms of filming, you went to India, you went to Pakistan. Were there any challenges that you guys faced in terms of access, in terms of locations, permissions?
Yeah, I mean, constant issues. I've never filmed in that part of the world before. I mean, it was at the time we were filming in basically April, May into June, sort of thing. That kind of time in India and Pakistan.
Nice weather, nice weather.
It was brutal. It was. Someone said it was the hottest ever on record in those two countries. So, first of all, it was 40 degrees every day plus, and we had people, sometimes fainting from the heat or having to sit out because when we were outside, it was very, very hot. And I think, filmmaking of that size on a documentary is reasonably new in that part of the world. Obviously, Bollywood and those huge productions happen, but the production team did really well just pulling together kind of some of these things. We had an issue at the border. We wanted to film at the border, and we had an issue once where we turned up and then we found out that the permissions hadn't come through. So we waited and waited and waited, and there was this amazing ceremony we wanted to film with Sehwag, and we annoyingly didn't come through in time, and we couldn't do it. It's so frustrating. So we had done other stuff, but we had to come back. Those kind of things. So and going to Pakistan, I mean, from the Western world, you get a certain opinion of what Pakistan is and will be. And I think honestly, I was nervous about going to Pakistan. But honestly, it was one of the most amazing travel experiences of my life, and it felt like 2004 over again. They welcomed us. We turned up at the airport. We thought, oh, there's going to be hassle at the airport, but they'd arranged us to sort of basically be met by one of the officials and swept all the way through customs and straight out. And from that point onwards, Taha, who was the producer out there, and showed us the most amazing time. They looked after us like brothers, and incredibly generous with their sort of hospitality. It's kind of what you see in the footage about the 2004 the Friendship Tour. We certainly felt the genuine warmth and kindness and hospitality when we were out there, and it was a great experience. Really was.
I was going to ask you, what were the similarities and differences between visiting India and Pakistan? Not from a, film standpoint, just the experience. So you already answered the Pakistan part. What was India like? Were there similarities? Were there differences?
Well, I mean, I remember turning up in Pakistan and we hadn't eaten any much meat in India, and then we turn up to this massive, great kind of barbecue which they'd arranged, and ate all the meats we hadn't eaten in India. There's definitely a slight character difference. I mean, are you heralding from Pakistan originally? Your heritage is Pakistan, is it?
Yeah, I am, and I actually went to India in 2013 for three
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
Um, and I had the same thing, like, as a Pakistani going to India, what would the experience be like? And
yeah,
it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, like the
yeah.
hospitality there and the people, whenever they found out, like I mostly didn't disclose that I was originally from Pakistan, but if they did find out, their attitude towards me changed in such a way for a positive. Like,
Mm.
oh, you're our neighbor, But sorry, go on. I kind of
No,
went
no.
on.
I mean, I think that's very. I mean, I was there with a British cameraman, and we didn't know what to expect from either country. But everyone in India was so sort of kind as well, and welcoming, and really hardworking. Everyone worked their socks off to kind of get the production right, and film in all these different locations and deal with the complications and locations falling through, and the usual kind of things. And we were based in Mumbai, and just getting around Mumbai is a real thing. It's the streets are full of traffic constantly, and
Yep.
yeah, it was a great experience to kind of film in both those countries. We also obviously filmed in UAE. We filmed Waka Yunus in Australia because that's where he lives.
Right, right.
So and he was a great contribution, and you know, uh, who else? We had a great time, and we had, John Wright we filmed John Wright in Mumbai as well. He was a good contributor, and I think, there's a great line in the film where he talks about where he was feeling quite down during the tour because India were losing, and one of the bowlers who was helping them out said,
Anil Kumble.
No, I think it was one of the ones who was helping them out. It was like one of the junior bowlers who the Pakistanis had given.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes.
He said the glory is in the struggle, and I think that's what I take away, from the whole thing. It was a very, very tough shoot, very, very tough experience. But I think when you look back, you learn a lot, and you come away hopefully a stronger person, and a person who has experienced some pretty kind of extraordinary things.
Right. I want to go back to your early days of career, but before I do, just a random question. Do you remember any specific dishes from India and Pakistan that you really liked? Just one.
One dish. I can't remember what they're called, but they're in India. They had these sort of little ball things.
It's called thali. Like you have different assortment of food.
Yeah,
is that what?
Unbelievable. Yeah. I thought the taste of that was just incredible. It was sort of delightful. And I thought, well, why didn't we see that in the UK? Because that was like a delicious snack. That was something I never had before, so that was really nice. I think Pakistan, the barbecues and the meats and all that stuff was my greatest memory of that, and the hospitality from the Pakistanis out there to sort of generously take us around. Shoaib was amazing. He kept on turning up in our rooms and got people to bring us cakes, and he became a sort of friend out there. He messaged me recently, and he's delighted that the program's gone to it's #1 in India and Pakistan. So
of course.
Netflix, yeah. Well, so that's great for him, and everyone's waited a long time for it to come out. So we're all delighted that that's happened. So yeah.